I'm from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ken Godler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Rugby, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in National Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Tonight, Prime Minister says the President's message in Parliament was lost on the opposition. NFP leader calls for joint Parliamentary Committee on Sugar. And factory owner who lost it all in a fire to keep all 60 employees. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama has hit out at opposition MPs, saying they chose not to heed the words of President Major General retired Chiochi Kondrote during the opening of the Parliament. Bainimarama says the President had urged members to promote unity. However, comments from the opposition throughout the week have been otherwise.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
In his right of reply, Vorenge Bainimarama said the opposition outbursts have been offensive to gender, ethnicity and religion.
While I hope that this session might be an opportunity to improve the relationship between the government and the opposition, and while I wish that we could depend on the opposition to take a serious and appropriate approach to governing, we saw clearly during this first sitting in dealing with the racist and derogatory outbursts from the opposition ranks.
Bainimarama also attacked the leader of the National Federation Party for taking the side of the now suspended Sodelpa MP Ratu Isowati Koda.
Those who recall the noble legacy of the NFP are watching, and they must know that the NFP have again let them down.
The Prime Minister says he will not defend the 2013 Constitution against the ridiculous charges.
It is clear that the opposition have a different vision of democracy, one where some people are treated more favorably than others, and everyone else searches for the crumbs that fall from the table.
Bainimarama says there is much that needs to be done, as Fiji is a developing country facing so many challenges.
Of course, not everyone in this country has clean drinking water yet. Not every place has good roads yet. But under my government, as His Excellency said, which they didn't hear properly, we have never had such a focus on building up our infrastructure and increasing access to essential services.
The Prime Minister says he has a vision to take Fiji forward and get rid of the racism that led the events of 2000 and 1987.
As Prime Minister, I stand for the interest of every Fijian, and so as members of my party, no matter where they are in Fiji, who they are, what religion they follow, or what province they come from.
Parliament has been adjourned until 6th February. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The National Federation Party leader is pressing on with his claims of the sugar industry in decline. Biman Prasad wants a joint parliamentary committee to look into the industry. But the Prime Minister is not having any of this, saying the NFP leader is ignorant of the realities within the industry. Rachel Nath reports.
They never acknowledged it. They never acknowledged it that it was our idea.
The National Federation Party's support base lies within the sugar belt. And it comes as no surprise as its leader had a lot to say about it today.
Farmers in this country, they save the sugar industry, we will give them credit. Madam Speaker, I will stand in this parliament and give credit to the government.
There's a lot of things that Biman Prasad talked about, he knows little about. He talks about the sugar industry. He doesn't know anything about the sugar industry.
So the sugar industry
whatever knowledge Biman Prasad has about the sugar industry, it's in this little pocket of mine.
Prasad also wants a rescue package for sugar farmers affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston.
Madam Speaker, we've asked the government to join hands with us and work together to save the industry. I've called for a joint committee, joint parliamentary committee with the Prime Minister. They keep talking about working with them, and we suggest a joint parliamentary committee to look at the sugar industry, which is in dire strait. They reject it.
I never listened to that part of the joint parliamentary committee, but whatever it is, we need to discuss it further. Okay. We just don't sit and have a joint parliamentary committee on nothing.
Okay. Prasad claims they are calling for joint discussions to bring about greater efficiency in the industry.
The only reason for the Prime Minister's anger, it seems, Madam Speaker, with the NFP, is that we are questioning the value of this government's so-called reforms.
He doesn't understand what we're trying to do in terms of reform. For example, the sugar industry. But he has a blank look at everything that we do. It doesn't work. For him, it doesn't work. Him and members of the opposition, not only for NFP, but also for the SDL.
Professor Biman Prasad defended NFP's decision to boycott President's opening of Parliament, claiming his detainment was an insult to NFP and all of its supporters. However, the Prime Minister says the boycott was an insult and disrespectful to the President and all Fijians. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister earlier in the day lashed out at people who deliberately sabotaged the sugar industry in previous years.
People like Honorable Nivanawekula went around in 1999, getting back, telling the chiefs to return, take back their land because of the politics in those days. The same politics that removed Mahendra Chaudhary from office and end of Fijian. But he does, yes, and I know. That's why I'm telling you. That's a little knowledge you don't know about. You should ask him, because he was responsible for going out into the rural areas, in the villages, and telling the chiefs to take back their land. That was part of the sugar demise.
Opposition leader Rote Mumukepa claims suspended MP Ratu Iso Tikodan never got to make his case to the Parliamentary Privileges Committee. However, Ratu Iso says he was given the opportunity to appear before the committee earlier in the week. Rachel Nath again with this report.
There seems to be some confusion between Rote Mumukepa and suspended MP Ratu Iso Tikoda on his statement to the Parliamentary Privileges Committee.
Was the absence of natural justice in having Ratu Isoa appear before the Privileges Committee to make his points heard, especially by them. He did not appear before the Privileges Committee.
I gave my statement to the Privileges Committee under protest.
FBC News also saw Ratu Isoa leaving one of the meetings earlier this week, and chair of the committee Ruveni Nandalo confirms the now suspended MP did make a submission on Wednesday evening.
He came in to give his submission, his side of the story on what actually transpired, but that was taken on board with the committee.
Why Rote Mumu would say Ratu Isoa was denied natural justice is unknown, but she also claims government side of Parliament is being unfair and is bullying the opposition. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Government Whip Ashnil Sudhakar says Fiji was never a genuine democracy until the 2013 constitution was introduced. Sudhakar says the new constitution has set a benchmark of what a modern Fiji should be.
Government Whip Ashnil Sudhakar says all previous constitutions did little to unite the people of Fiji.
Those constitutions were riddled with other race-based policies and structures and class and religious bias.
Sudhakar says people have been segregated along racial and religious lines in the past.
People of the two major races would eat from the same plate on all the other days. But come election time, there would be hate speech, racial vilification, abuse, and so on.
Fellow government MP Samuela Vunivalu says the 2013 constitution speaks for itself.
It did not, for the 2013 constitution, the NFP could not have been in Parliament. Yes. This is true because under the 1997 constitution, they never made it to the Parliament. Why boycott?
Despite all the criticism of the constitution from the opposition, the government maintains it will improve the lives of all Fijians. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, growth potential for clothing and textile industry. And Mortibai Group builds multi-million-dollar facility in Nandi. Stay with us.
Yung bula bina tanggung peli untuk talitin na parang bula FM na bu.
Nambang tuan jinangan ng bula FM na usur. Bula FM nambang tuan sir.
Bula siya puni ba lambasa na ko bila merikibi bula FM nambang tuan sir talita itu ngai lambas.
Bula FM nambang 2 sir.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The late Rokotuimbao Ratuchoni Mandraiwiwi will be laid to rest next Friday at the chiefly burial site on Bao Island. Kokichiochi Tonganivali, the Matani Vanua or traditional spokesperson for the late Rokotuimbao, has confirmed the rengu-rengu for people to pay their respects will begin on Wednesday. MPs today also paid tribute to the work of the former late Vice President.
Ratuchoni also said he rejected arguments by some politicians that when the United Kingdom granted independence to Fiji in 1970, they should have handed power back to the chiefs, calling this position legally untenable.
Ratujoni will always be remembered as an embodiment of chiefly authority and wisdom, whose humility, care and concern for all our ordinary people and adherence to the rule of law, fundamental human rights and freedoms was paramount.
Secretary-General to Parliament Viniana Namosimalua has defended her staff as more allegations of abuse of office have surfaced. The allegations, which came to light in the Fiji Sun, suggest that overseas travel allowances were abused in addition to exorbitant costs for overseas training workshops funded by taxpayers.
They are allegations, they're lies, they're not true. And just to say that the truth will defend itself, the truth will stand up for itself. That's all I can say.
The investigation of alleged sexual misconduct by a senior staff member has been extended because of further developments. No jobs will be lost as a result of a fire at the United Pacific factory in Makoinasinu last Friday. Company director Kamal Khalil says he will retain all his 60 employees despite losing his business. Pranita Prakash reports.
This is what remains of the 32-year-old factory, which until last week exported millions of dollars worth of products to Papua New Guinea.
My first priority is my 60-plus workers' job. My employees has been in close contact with me almost every day this week, as they are very desperate to know about their jobs. I have assured them that their jobs are secured with the company.
United Pacific Director Kamal Khalil says he's awaiting approval to start cleaning and rebuilding. 42-year-old mother of two, Vidawati has worked here for 18 years. She's been worried about where her next paycheck would come from.
I'm renting and looking after my husband and 2 daughters. I don't have any source of income. I'm also looking for another job, which is difficult to get. I don't have any money. When we were working, we knew that we will get paid on every Friday.
The cost of damage is estimated in millions as new machines were installed only a few weeks ago. Khalil hopes to be up and running in 3 months. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Investment Fiji is actively reaching out to exporters and investors while marketing Fiji as a potential destination. This was confirmed by Investment Fiji Chief Executive Koromula Tut during the Textiles, Clothing and Footwear Council annual general meeting last night. Savaira Tumboa has more.
When it eventually comes out. The textile and clothing industry employs close to 7,000 workers and is an essential piece of the Fijian economy. The value of exports last year exceeded $110 million, or 10% of our total exports.
Our leading entrepreneurs have done a remarkable job in raising Fiji's competitive advantage by taking some bold steps and focusing on specialised products and niche industries, and leveraging our nearshore cost advantage with Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific.
One Apparel General Manager Mark Hallaby believes skilled workers will attract more overseas buyers.
If you don't have trained personnel, the expectations of these customers coming to Fiji will be let down. So we have to make sure as an industry and as a government and as training institutions that we all work together and raise the standard of our professionalism, that we can continue attracting more business and cope with it.
The industry's strength lies in regional exports. In 2015, total combined exports to Tonga amounted to $98 million. Exports to New Zealand equaled to $87.6 million. Total exports to Kiribati amounted to $74 million, whilst Vanuatu accounted for $62.5 million and Samoa for $44 million. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
Work on a new Motibai business park in Nadi is slowly taking shape. The $30 million project aims to centralise operations for the Motibai group of companies in the Western Division. Ellen Stolz has more.
Located in West Road near Lenga subdivision, the massive construction can't be missed as you travel along the Queen's Highway.
This will be our one-stop shop for Western operations. So at the moment, all our warehouses and operations are scattered all over from Ba up to Nandi. The warehouse, which is phase 2 of our project. And phase 3 is actually the construction of our office complex.
Prasad adds construction of the park began last November and has progressed well despite some delays and setbacks due to unfavorable weather earlier this year.
The warehouse complex is due to be completed by the first quarter of next year, and when opened will host dry as well as cold storage.
We have operation as a group, Motibai group, and we have grown a lot in the years, and we have now realized that for now and for the future we need to set ourselves right. So that is why this Motibai Business Park has been developed here.
The project, which covers 14,000 square meters, will provide a showroom, visual department, staff canteen and amenities, joineries, as well as executive and administration offices. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
The management of Rambulu Sanatan Primary School has been removed by the Education Ministry. FBC News understands the action has been taken due to alleged mismanagement of school grants. Education Minister Dr. Mahindra Reddy says his ministry will now run the school.
Today our team met with the management of Rambulu Sanatan Primary School in the West. We've asked them to step aside, and Ministry will now run the school, and we'll call for an AGM later this year.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the very latest.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, and Delta Tigers ready for IDC. This and more after the break.
मैं जुगेन नंबिलो तालिब से रेडियो फिजी 2 24 घंटे मेरे साथ साथ रहता है।
हम अंगेरी ताउका के ललिश है, हमारे दिल में और दिमाग में खाली रेडियो फिजी 2 है, और सभी भाइयों से आग्रह करते हैं कि रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनना चाहिए।
मेरा नाम अविनेश है, मैं निंदी का रहने वाला हूँ। मैं सभी समय रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता हूँ क्योंकि उसमें आईना प्रोग्राम रहता है।
हाय, मैं उमेश नसासा नाबुआ से। मैं जब
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team will have a lot to live up to come the Sevens World Series from December. With preparations underway, it will be interesting to see how the Olympic champions will fire up in 3 months.
We're starting all over again, but we want to be at a good spot too. And you've also got the Rugby World Cup, Melrose Cup in San Francisco.
Meanwhile, applications for the Fiji Sevens coaching jobs closed today. The Rewa football side is looking forward to its Vodafone Premier League match against Lambasa this weekend. The team has been training well under the guidance of coach Marika Rondu and is looking forward to finish round 1 on a high note.
The Delta Tigers trying to get their combination right ahead of a crucial match against Lambasa on Sunday.
to make sure we finish this first round at 13 points and we could reduce the deficit in terms of the difference between the teams that's topping the table.
Not too many changes is expected in the River football side for the new season. While everyone's talking about next week's IDC, midfielder Tevita Warnivalu says their focus is on the league match against Lambasa this Sunday.
Preparation has been going well. Boys have been camping, and first before IDC we have a Lambasa game on Sunday. I think it's a testing game before the tournament starts, and the other
Lambasa midfielder Tayone Kirevanua has joined the Delta Tigers and is likely to feature for the Reds in the new season.
He's an asset, gives a bit of variation in terms of attack and midfield. Maybe calls for a few changes in terms of our playing style or playing formation.
Rewa plays Lambasa at 4 p.m. on Sunday at Nasori's Ratu Zakambau Park, while Suva plays Lambasa at the same time tomorrow. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Super football striker Setareki Hughes is expected to join his former club Rewa in the current transfer window. Hughes, who started his football career with the Delta Tigers, has not been training with the Whites this week. Team president Mahen Prasad confirmed that Hughes moved out of his flat where he was staying in Suva last night, fueling speculation of his move to Rewa. Meanwhile, another Suva player, Rusiate Materarenga's suspension has been lifted and he is cleared to feature for Nandi in the new season. Materarenga was suspended by Suva Football in July for disciplinary reasons. The transfer window closed today. The proud family of Melbourne Storm winger Suliasi Vunivalu are all eagerly waiting for the NRL final to kick off this Sunday. 20-year-old Vunivalu is one of 3 Fijians that will be playing in the grand final, which sees the Storm take on the Sharks. Meli Tavanga caught up with Vunivalu's family in Turak today and filed this story.
Raised up in Bangasau in Turak, proud mom Kalesi Vunivalu says his only son played soccer during his primary school days, and she never imagined her son would come this far.
We always support my son, and most importantly, the support from his friends are overwhelming, and we struggled a lot to make ends meet.
Seeing her son cross the try line is always a proud moment for Vunivalu's mother. She could not control her emotions as tears filled her eyes as she recalled her son's humble beginnings.
As a mother, I always thank the Lord for guiding my son in bringing him this far.
Relatives, friends and neighbors of Vunivalu plan to gather at his home on Sunday night to watch the Rugby League rising star in action.
We are looking forward to the game. The whole of Bangasau residents are hyping up and are hoping they will win.
The family also applauds Vunivalu following his remarkable rookie season when he won the award as the NRL's leading try scorer this year.
His magnificent display and extraordinary Rugby League talents have won the hearts of Rugby League's fans in Fiji and Australia. Vunivalu's mom says this has made their family proud. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji National Rugby League has received $125,000 in sponsorship from Pacific Energy to support Fiji Mbati in its preparations for the Rugby League World Cup next year. The sponsorship is split into $100,000 cash and $25,000 worth of fuel. While receiving the money yesterday, FNRL Chair Filimoni Wasarongo thanked the efforts of all parties involved.
So they will be running out onto the field next week and hoping to do your brand proud, as well as the population of Fiji proud of the day when they take on the Koh Samoa on their home soil.
And that wraps up sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The insurance industry recorded an operating result and adequate solvency position last year. This was highlighted in the 2015 Insurance Annual Report tabled in the Parliament earlier this week. RBF Governor Barry Whiteside says the industry performed well due to favourable economic conditions and the absence of natural catastrophes. Conditions were scorching today as sunny spells was the weather pattern across the country. Nandiba and Lambasa were broiling at 33 degrees while Sabu was serene at 29. For tomorrow, pleasant sunny day is expected in most parts of the country, and looking onto Sunday, it's warm and sunny periods predicted to continue for most of Fiji. At sea, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Prime Minister says the President's message in Parliament was lost on the opposition. NFP leader calls for joint parliamentary committee on sugar, and factory owner who lost it all in a fire to keep all 60 employees. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. On to this week's question, and we are asking, should Fiji Soccer hire another overseas coach? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Nimo Demanda.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rugby Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavwa Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.